What happens if Hudayriyat Island doesn't perform the way it's expected to? Would the Golf Estates launch still actually hold value? Because that might be the best way to really test this project. Now, even in that scenario, a few things don't change. First is the golf positioning. Golf-facing homes are actually one of the rarest asset types in Abu Dhabi, with only the likes of 𝐬𝐥𝐴𝐵 and Saadiyat Beach villas, which are available in the market, both of which have a very limited supply. So when you look at Hudayriyat, it's not just another golf view project. It's actually one of the very few new opportunities to enter that same asset class, but at a lower price per square foot. You have the townhouses coming in around 1900 dirhams per square foot, and the villas and mansions ranging anywhere between 1700 to 2700 dirhams per square foot. So entering at those pricing levels adds another layer of safety to this investment. Second is the supply situation across Abu Dhabi as of now. Across the Emirate, even after accounting for the wider pipeline of villas and townhouses expected by 2030, the total supply is projected at around 9,400 units. That's a tight number when you look at the scale of demand that's building into the Abu Dhabi Emirate, especially with the continued relocation of the high-income individuals that are moving into Abu Dhabi. Most of the supply is also spread across multiple of these communities and multiple master plans, so you don't really have one area becoming heavily oversupplied with inventory either. And since supply and demand remains the strongest long-term driver of real estate, that becomes another layer of protection for Hudayriyat and Hudayriyat's Golf Estate launch. Hudayriyat also elevates itself within the limited pipeline because it's not trying to become another residential community per se. It's actually shaping itself into a full sort of island lifestyle destination. So over time, even in a slow market, the demand will naturally gravitate toward a stronger and a more complete master plan like this one has to offer. Now, a third layer of protection is the payment structure offered by Modon. It's a very cash-friendly structure, 5% entry in 2026, followed by roughly a 10-month gap before the next installment in March of 2027. Then you have 10% yearly through 2027, 2028, and 2029, with the remaining 60% due at completion, which would also be eligible for a mortgage. So your upfront exposure remains relatively low throughout the construction, while both the project and the wider master plan are maturing over the course of time. Now, another important point is that you're effectively entering into a product that will deliver into an already maturing island sort of ecosystem. The previous phases across Naseem, Nawaf Hills, Bashar, and Nawaf Village are all expected to begin handing over from late 2028 onwards, meaning by the time Hudayriyat Golf Estates completes around September 2030, your exit is into a far more mature and far more functional community. Now, the interesting part is if we flip the assumption and we say the master plan actually performs the way it's expected to because of how unique it is, then the picture becomes a much more interesting sort of viewpoint. Because with Hudayriyat, you're talking about a master plan that's offering you private beach access, beach clubs, premium restaurants, 5-star hotels, 2 golf courses, equestrian facilities, cycling and running tracks, a hell lot of sports infrastructure. There's multiple retail destinations, about 16 high-end schools, and about roughly 22 kilometers of beachfront coastline. And this is all integrated into one island ecosystem. So a very rare sort of overall master plan, a rare sort of asset. It's also very strategically positioned. It's around 22-25 minutes from ADGM, with future tunnels and bridges that are expected to bring that travel time further down. And with ADGM itself, it's expanding quite rapidly. It's becoming one of the region's leading sort of financial centers. They're attracting global firms, asset managers, hedge funds, and a large majority of the high net worth relocations are coming through from the ADGM growth. So with Hudayriyat, you're not just relying on the local demand, you're also benefiting from the international wealth and institutional growth that is gradually feeding into the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. And that's further strengthened by the developer itself. So Modon is a government-backed developer. They are focused on building these large-scale lifestyle destinations, and they've been working on sort of spearheading the next phase of prime real estate developments in Abu Dhabi in particular. They are also not a developer that are dependent on the investors' cash flow to survive. They work with a very deep sort of sovereign-linked backing. They're backed by Limad, ADQ, so they're able to execute projects at a large scale without needing to aggressively flood the market with inventory or require investors' cash flow to make do. Which is also why supply across Hudayriyat has remained relatively controlled despite the sheer size of the entire island. Their goal has been very clear from day one. It's not been maximum density. It's been creating a high-end lifestyle sort of environment. So now the buying decision eventually becomes less about just the property itself and more about buying into a sort of lifestyle ecosystem. That's very difficult to recreate anywhere else in Abu Dhabi. Now moving into the pricing, which is quite attractive again. Townhouses at roughly around 1900 dirham per square foot, 3 beds starting at around 4.25 million, 4 beds around 4.95 million. Then the 4-bedroom golf homes backing onto the greenways at roughly around 1800 dirham per square foot, starting at around 7.35 million. And then my personal favorite, which is the 5-bedroom range villas, which will be second door to the golf course at roughly 1700 dirhams per square foot at around 10.15 million. And then you move into your very top end of the offerings. You have the 6-bedroom golf mansions. You're looking at roughly 2700 to 2900 dirham per square foot, with both a golf course frontage as well as a canal view and the Abu Dhabi skyline view. Now that becomes a very completely different type of asset altogether, because these sort of positionings are almost irreplaceable. You have a golf frontage on one side, you have canal views on the other side. So that's an offering that's practically unheard of, not just in Abu Dhabi, but in Dubai as well. It's a sort of trophy level real estate asset, not easily replicable. So to summarize, with Hudairiyat Golf Estates, even in a weaker scenario, you still have the safety netting of rarity, limited golf supply, strong master plan positioning, and the structured payment flexibility. And in a strong scenario, you're entering one of Abu Dhabi's most ambitious lifestyle master plans before it reaches its full maturity. And that's really what this product comes down to. So now if you're interested in understanding the master plan further or the unit selection, feel free to reach me out on WhatsApp. So the EOIs officially opened on the 20th, which was yesterday. And since I work with Capital Avenue, we are one of Modon's top performing brokerages. So it gives us priority positioning for the clients who register their EOIs through us on a priority basis. So if you're seriously considering ownership here, I would advise getting in touch at the earliest. Hope this video was of value, and I'll be looking forward to connecting with those interested in securing themselves a unit here.